Hey guys, Tony here from P2G and welcome back. So, I did a video on this thing yesterday or the day before. This is the kuva karak. People have been asking me in the comments, mainly one person, but they asked me in the comments, is there any mods that they could use besides a ribbon? So, what I have for you today is, I have made a normal build right here, which I normally would run my ribbon right there in the corner, and I normally run heavy caliber. For testing, I'm not going to run heavy caliber because I don't have enough mod slots to fit all the mods on that I would test. But for real quick, we're going to be doing a control test without either of them, and then a control test with vigilante armaments. So both of those are fairly optional. Again, I'm going to be doing this just because I only have heavy caliber. I can't really fit anything else on. This is a corrosive build. Still pretty good. I mean, able to kill an enemy in a magazine, but with like around 15 to 20 rounds left. Just keep that as an average. Then if we throw on vigilante armaments, which is over here, which also, if you're wondering, vigilante armaments has the crit bonus. Why it's at 20% is I always run an R-tax with vigilante supplies, fervor, and offense. So, and a spare vigilante armaments. Just because it makes a weapon a bit more powerful. So, yeah. Now we're going to go test this out real quick with this gun. Is that enemy slightly damaged? No. So if we look, there's a pretty big difference. As in, I'm now hitting a bunch of orange crits. And I killed about an enemy and a half right there. An enemy and two halves. Basically 2 enemies right there. Of course, the kuva weapons do have a little bit of punch through, so if you're right next to their enemy, you're going to be hitting 2 of them. As you can see, it's just performing a little bit better. Like, it's doing more damage than it could if it didn't happen. And like you're seeing that orange crit, even though this weapon only has like a 50% crit chance. So, very good. It's a good weapon. So, now, you know, if we put it on heavy caliber, it'll be even better, but we're going to do all the tests without it. We're going to do one test with it, but first, some of the mods I suggested to him. Argon scope, bladed rounds, critical device garbage. And you could also use heavy caliber, hammer shots, hunter munitions, definitely one that I would suggest. Another elemental, another dual stat. I've got 2 karak ribbons. This is a more quality of life as magazine capacity multi-shot, and this one's the better one. You could run reload speed. You could basically, this is basically an option slot right here. Both of these are mainly option slots. I was just having 1 damage right there though. And another thing we're going to test out thermite rounds, and we're also going to test out some fire rate. So first let's test it with heavy caliber, which is my mod of choice for this slot. As you can see, I normally run that here, and I normally just take off the ribbon. I have a reason. I have a method for my madness. Why I use heavy caliber is because it makes this weapon feel like the normal karak. It's way too accurate, which actually makes huge damage bonus. Again, these are level 140, so I mean, I just killed ridiculous. So it was my beginner weapon of choice when I first started out and everything. So. Yeah, that's heavy caliber. Now, I don't really know how many others are going to do. Again, this first test, I don't really play Warframe much anymore. Let's just go in order. Argon scope, which, if you hit a headshot, it increases your crit chance. So, it's extremely expensive. I don't really suggest it. I got it ages ago. But, yeah, just, if you want to, doing pretty good. This would actually work really well with hunter munitions. So, because there's extra crits for the extra damage. It's doing about the same. But with this one, you have to hit headshots in order to get the crits. So, I mean, it's doing about the same as heavy caliber. I mean, both of them are really good. Again, viral flash is the best way to go. Like, viral with hunter munitions is the best way to go on this weapon. At least in my opinion. But yeah, but both of these are a good option, but it's not good enough for the expense that is Argon Scope. So run heavy caliber and not Argon Scope. Next, let's test bladed rounds, which might be problematic. So let me swap up the enemies right here. So what I want is 7 corrupted heavy gunners and 1 butcher, because you have to kill an enemy to get the bonus. So that'll be what we're doing, and I don't want to have to use it without us. So watch this. So instantly one-shot him, then we'll do... I don't really know how much damage, again, I'm missing a few shots, but it looks to be about the same, or maybe worse. So... and it's a little bit better, actually. But again, it is an on-kill. It is an on-kill bonus, so... looks like bladed rounds is one of the best ones to use. Again, I missed a bunch of headshots there, so... also, I got a bit unlucky with the orange crits. You guys should always be running at least a few vigilante mods on your sentinel weapon, because it makes a world of a difference. But yeah, bladed rounds, again, all of these are good options. Well, Argon Scope really isn't a good option, because one, it's on headshots, and you're not going to get headshots all the time in the wilds of Warframe, and it's bloody expensive. So next, let's go on to a garbage mod, Critical Delay. Makes you fire slower, and increases your crit chance by a little bit. I despise this mod. I got it when I first got the karak, and it's bad. It's like really bad. So, I mean, it makes the weapon more accurate and feel more like a heavy machine gun. Again, which I personally love LMGs in games, like heavy LMGs. But look at that. I was barely able to kill. I can't even kill 2 heavy gunners. So it literally adds nothing to the gun. I mean, it's pretty bad. So just don't use it. Critical delay, bad. Next, let's just try some hammer shot. I don't think I've ever seen someone use this before on this slot, so I've never even thought of using it, because hammer shot is pretty terrible, honestly. Like, okay, let's just do it over here. Looks pretty terrible. And again, it's probably just me getting unlucky. The hammer shot isn't the greatest for this slot, but I mean, again, all these mods are good. Like, some of them are gonna outshine others. As in, like, some of them are just gonna outshine others. Like, hammer shot and critical delay are 2 of the worst, I would say. Again, this is end game testing. I mean, normally you would only fight enemies 40 levels below those, so this doesn't really matter. But again, all these are decent options except for critical delay. So hammer shot, I'm gonna give it approval just because it's a cheap mod. A lot of people have it. So yeah. Elemental, can't fit an elemental on here. Sorry guys. Those are my Rivens. Those aren't gonna fit because we're not using Rivens. Let's do Prime Shred. Punch through and fire rate. This means I'll be attacking 2 enemies at once, which means that'll help my DPS. I'll keep the butcher in there, because why not? So yeah, I mean, it's gonna blow through my ammo, like, oh, I killed 2, and then 2.5, still same. Of course, this is gonna make your ammo economy garbage. So, like, I mean, sure, it makes you fire like a Gatling gun, which is always fun to see, but this is probably the best of the fire rate. I'm not going to try any of the other fire rates, because it's going to be... well, actually, I will try other fire rates, just to see how ridiculous it is, but... I mean, I've got ammo drum, and I just used like 200 bullets to kill 8 enemies, so that's almost 3 clips. That's... would not suggest Prime Shred, but again, it's good. It doesn't add any damage whatsoever, it just makes you fire faster and kill multiple enemies at once. That's that. Next, we are going to be running, I'll run let's run thermite rounds. I lost my train of thought right there. This will add heat, which lowers the enemy armor even further, and corrosive increases the damage that you do to enemy armor every time you hit them with corrosive proc. That's a new change. So, yeah, as you can see, I think they're actually really good. Like, as you can see, I was only able to kill 2. Still, I mean, it's doing pretty good against these enemies. I mean, it's a bit surprising, but again, heavy caliber is a bit better. It's better for the higher levels, I think, because you're not just using upfront damage. It increases all your status and makes it so you lower the armor. So, for end game, probably. And again, Rivens are always better. So, and yes, I'm going to be running Vigilante armaments for all these. So, it's decent. Again, another approval. Not as good as not as good as Heavy Caliber, because Heavy Caliber does like 2 things for me. So, that's what I say. Oh yeah, I forgot Hunter Momo, as Lazar says. Hunter Munitions, one of the most broken mods in this entire game that's ridiculously overpowered. Again, just like actually doesn't really do too much for a build like this. I mean, sure, it's gonna save a little bit of ammo, but it's just a bit unpredictable. I mean, actually, we were able to kill 3 enemies, so minus like 4 bullets for my magazine. Yeah, we are able to kill 3 enemies, I mean, with 1 clip. That's pretty good. And, again, I'm not the most accurate of people. But yeah, you're able to kill... I'm pretty sure 100 munitions is probably the best one. But if you... I mean, you're not going to need it unless you're doing, like, endurance runs. I mean, you're not going to need that kind of damage any day. I mean, if you want that kind of damage, just run this build right here. I'll let you take a good look at it for like 5 seconds while I talk. This build is ridiculously powerful. Even without the Riven, it destroys. Like, there's nothing that can defeat it. So, that's that for that. You see, it also decreases damage. I just want to do this for kicks and lulls. It's a ridiculous mod. Like, it makes... I'm just gonna say it's gonna make this weapon very ammo inefficient. I mean, do you see that? Like, it's the DPS is pretty good, but also just pay attention to my ammo. I'm running carrier and ammo drum, so just pay attention to my ammo. Well, it's not really gonna be accurate because I've already killed a bunch of enemies and there's a bunch of ammo around. But like you can see, I'm blowing through my ammo like crazy, and if you, let's say, miss for a second, you've already used 15 bullets. So, and also, the reason why no one tests with butchers, that's why. That's the only reason I had him there was because of that, and I didn't want to change him in the middle of a video. That's pretty much it. Now, the best damage that you can do, let me just show that real quick. It's with my Riven. Karak Akriata, plus 160% crit damage, plus 200% damage, and minus 20% magazine. Doesn't really matter because do you see the damage numbers? Pretty insane. So I'm put on Mirage real quick. I'm gonna have to remake this build because I'm not running my build that I use for interchanging, but whatever. I don't care. I don't play Warframe all that often. So let's put on Mirage with an Eclipse build. This is my Eclipse build. It's not the best, but, you know, I just don't care. It adds like 500% damage or something like that. I'll give you exact numbers here in a second. Yep, 500. And then with the clones, just, like, all you gotta do is hit 1 slash proc. I am literally one-shotting people. I mean, look at that. This is why I like to see the Karak. Oh, I just got really unlucky with him. Again, stuff like that happens, like where you don't... I hit no slash proc 2 times in a row, but... I mean, you're gonna be just spam firing this. Let me just show you that for a second. Basically, you're just gonna be doing this. And that's 90% of them already dead. Just grab your gun, miss a few shots, and now they're all dead. 8 enemies dead in 2 clips. That's, insane. And even without Mirage, it still does great damage, but Mirage just pushes it over the top. That's the kuva karak. Personally, I love heavy caliber. Test it one more time to see how good it is. Like, the reason why I use it is because 1, it's one of the best damage boosters, and 2, let me just show you without it. So it actually does decrease the accuracy. So if we head over here, we're about like right here, and we fire a bunch of bullets, like right there. You're gonna see that they're actually really close together. This thing is incredibly accurate, and it can be used from sniper range. But if we throw heavy caliber on, which is somewhere right here, it lowers my accuracy down to 27 from 80, which you might be thinking, well, that's a bad idea. Just look at the spread. It's not much worse. It's a little bit worse, probably twice as worse, but like, it makes it feel like the normal karak, which again, I'm a huge karak fan. I've been using it. I have all 3 of the variants. If we look over here, all 3 of the variants. There's the kuva karak, there's the karak, and then there's the karak wraith with 5 forma. So that's my problem. I just can't bring myself to use this thing on its normal accuracy because it just doesn't feel right. So, one last test. Oh, did not mean to do that. Okay. Just... Again, 100 munitions is the best for this slot. This is just the damage I'm used to doing. Well, I'm used to having a ribbon, so that's also taken into account for. Yeah, I have to say, just look at the damages of all of them. Watch the video, look at the damages of all of them, and just pick one. Or make your own. You can use just, how about homework for you guys? Sorry. Just go into the simulacrum yourself. Test out these builds. And maybe even test out, like, Infected Clip, like some more 90 mods. Because I can't do that for you, because I don't really have enough forma, nor do I need any more forma. Like, put like Infected Clip, put on like Hellfire, put on mods like that, Shocking Touch to up the corrosive, to see how good it is. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Very good weapon. I normally run the Riven setup, by the way. So, very good weapon. Again, probably the best assault rifle in the entire game, even better than the Tiburon Prime. Yeah, probably. But, yeah. My personal favorite gun, this thing, when I saw they made a kuva version, I was just super excited because it's just ridiculous. It's my favorite gun in the game, and just, Well, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button, and make sure to test out the karak wraith, and the kuva karak for yourself, and tell me what you think. They're all great weapons. Karak is more of a beginner's. Kuva karak is the end game, and karak wraith is it'll take you through the star chart kind of gun. Maybe even a little bit higher, like level 60, 70, but that's it. Anyways, if you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe if you're new. Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Say hi.